Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Quan King Channel. It's your girl down the crypto TA. All right, I just put out a post this morning on Bitcoin. We're trying to get through this bearish order block right now. So if we do manage to do that, then there are these two levels that I'll be looking at to see if we can get a retracement back into them. So yesterday we were looking at this level here yesterday, and remember yesterday on live, I was like, oh gosh, I can't pull the trigger on it because I was looking for price to drop down into this 50. I said we needed a quick reaction on this right here, and then chop, 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 and get the go. Well, I ended up actually getting in down here, and I let the market stop me out here, so I didn't even TP up here at the golden pocket, which was all I was really looking for price action to do. We got the move down here. We came into our, well, actually we missed this by about $3 if we're looking at it from the 15-minute time frame, because I was looking at this candle here. And so we did miss it by $3 right here. So we do have a fresh order block right here. And it looks like we just took out this order block here, this bearish order block. So I'm going to let the candle close on this right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and delete this order block. And then I'm going to look at this candle here. Now, while this isn't an actual order block, it's still an interesting place for price to pull back to if we get the close up here. I do want to see the close above this candle over here. It would still be an interesting place for price to pull back to. I really don't want to see price pull back here into this level right here. So it would have to be this one right here for me, okay? And let's see. We would probably, see, I got a channel in here. So I have a channel here. So I do have a channel here. We'll see how price performs if it comes back to this channel here. If it breaks out, then I'll be looking to see how we respond here at this candle right here, whether or not we'll get the breakthrough from this candle right here. Now on the 1 hour time frame, a lot different. In terms of the pullback, all the confluence was lying within here, this candle here, the 50% retracement, the golden pocket, the ascending trend line here from this point, and then into this one, which we didn't even tap into. Also the top side of the dynamic cloud in here as well, with the lows of this channel as we kept bouncing, and breaking the bottom side of it. So I'm just going to keep this noise on the chart for now just to see what we end up doing. On the 4 hour time frame, it kind of got a little bit iffy in here on the 4 hour time frame, but momentum bar line, trend line, not trend line, but momentum line popped out here. And on that drop back in, let's see, I know we didn't hit the cloud because we did have the dip in the cloud. And that's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of hopium right now is the 4 hour time frame that we could potentially see price break above this high. If that happens, I don't know if that happens today, if they hold out until tomorrow, what happens then. I know that we do still have the CME gap, and I know that's on a lot of people's mind, the CME gap. And I'm not saying that the CME gap is not going to get filled. I do believe the CME gap gets filled. It's just how fast does price go back to it? That is the main thing. So maybe they'll do it prior to tomorrow with Fed rate, or maybe they'll do it on Thursday when Trump speaks. We'll be watching the market while I'm live, and if I see anything when I'm not, then of course I'll update you on it. But right now, I'm just going to treat it as if it is a breakaway gap, and I don't expect for it to get filled right away. But we are starting to get to a point too. So I'm saying two different things, and I get that. I'm starting to get to a point to where we're still a little bit off. Let me put it like that. We're still a little bit off, but here with the RSI here on the 4 hour time frame. Let me just drop these for a sec. All right, so we do have this tightening here on the 4 hour time frame, which is going to end up leading to a sell-off. Okay, it doesn't tell me how much of a sell-off it'll be, but we're going to end up seeing some sort of a sell-off here on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so we're holding the trend line across here. That's one, and then we have the second one here. But here, if I just turn on this one, you know how I look for this one to get up into green. We're still a little bit off from that happening right now. It literally just crossed up the 50 threshold here yesterday. So I'm still looking for this to get up here into the green, and then once it gets into the green, to really start looking for prices to start to pull back. So we got a little bit of time on this one, if it does what it always does for me. And if we do get the breakout, I'd probably be looking somewhere here around the 120 at the weekly level in here. This is what I'll be eyeballing if that happens. We'll see how it goes, because we do got a little bit of drama here, and that means we can't go in and fill in the CME gap right away. We can't do the CME gap in this case. We can barely do the back test here from the breakout. We can barely do that, and that's pushing it here for the 4-hour time frame. So that's going to be the invalidation of price goes up more. It's going to be that. Because if we do start coming down here for the CME gap, that kills everything I'm looking at on the chart. So if you're bullish, you don't want that. Okay, if you're bearish, you do. But let's just jump back over to our 15-minute time frame for now. See what we got, because it doesn't look like we got that close, and we didn't. All right. I mean, market makers took whatever bearish liquidity that was in here. Any orders that was in here that was taken, but I still want to see the close above this candle right here. Yeah, kind of not feeling that. We started to lose some steam once we got to the bearish order block right here. Which means I might have to, I really don't want to. This right here is the most of a pullback I think the market can do on this 15-minute time frame. I might have to scratch it though and look back at this one right here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll see if that induces this cloud to drop a little bit more too. It was just starting to do so as we were holding the low of this candle right here. But if it does start to turn down a bit more, it's going to give me more confidence in this. And just so you know, what I'm looking at when I say we started to lose steam is as price action is coming up, you'll notice how each one of these candles from this point, from this candle all the way up, none of them close above the wick of the prior candle. This one barely. If it did it barely, but none of them closed below the prior candle wick. So this is where all the momentum was, where you can see us getting the close above each candle wick. And then that changes from this candle through with these green ones. I hope everyone is having a fantastic morning wherever you are. It's morning for me. It's 5. I get started at 5 a.m. We had a ton of bullish diversions coming through off of this drop down. Just bull div, bull div, bull div, bull div. We had the bear divs in here too, so that's how you know, at some point you look to invalidate the bear divs, but that's pretty much how you can identify your rejection zone, and that you still have an opportunity to wait to get in when you see that situation happening. Because normally I would have looked for something over here, which we didn't get any sort of a point to connect the line to. It's just kind of flat through here. Would have put a line right here and then got in here and seen that fail. Would put a line across here, got in here, seen that fail. Across here, got in, seen that fail. Until finally it breaks it. But through here you can see how it doesn't. Something else I talk about while I'm running my mouth. You see right here, this is your 40 right here, and you can see how each point right here we didn't get above the 40 either. This probably would have been the best place to take risk right here, because it actually does push up and in, and then of course too you could use the bull div down here. We got stopped out, or it just depends on what you're looking for. If I was looking towards here and I got in there, then I probably would have been looking for a 3 to 1, so I would have got stopped out likely with this candle wick right here, and then reassess and determine if you want to go back in. You see the bull divs again, so yeah, that would have been a good spot. But at this point right here, you don't get into the bullish control. Well, neutral. You don't even hit neutral in here. You don't hit neutral in there. Finally coming to the neutral zone right here, and then you re-enter neutral zone through here. So it would have been trying. It would have really been a trying entry if you were doing it like that. But you had this big inefficiency over here too, so yeah, just postponing to look at what we'll be looking at when we finally do start to get some candlesticks at. I probably could have actually looked at the inefficiency over everything. Just off of the 15-minute guidance, that looks like that probably would have been better. But it's all in hindsight now. And I turned off, as you notice, I turned off my my signal lines through here. I've just been drawing them in. So naturally I would draw one across here for a fast break of momentum, but this would be the main one right here. Alright, so MACD looks fine throughout here. Delta, you can see the delta is it's in and out. Right now it's postured down. That's why the color is white right there. It's postured down at the moment on the delta. RSI broke back below into the neutral right here. But that drop below this line here, the darker green line. Back to some price action. Let's see. My computer keeps cutting out down on me. I was watching Zcash yesterday. I was like, maybe I want to do Zcash, but the level that I was looking at for Zcash, it obviously broke through that level, came back and treated it as resistance. I'm gonna show you that while Bitcoin is doing its thing. So I didn't, and I said I really can't buy Zcash at these highs anyway. But after 15-minute time frame, I was watching this candle right here. I mean, I could have easily dropped it into this candle right here, but still it would have been breaking below it. And then my next option would be this one right here. Maybe I'll consider something if it does that. But yeah, you can see how it ended up treating this as resistance instead. So it's just been a resistance block below the cloud. So if I was looking for anything, yeah, probably would do this one right here. Let me fix that. See how that goes. I'm not going to delete that one. Leave it in here. For Zcash, let me see it on the 1 hour. Okay, so if I zoom that on the 1 hour, it is holding the top side dynamic cloud in here. So I guess it's going to end up pushing back up here and not making its way down here. I'm going to leave this in here just for entertainment's sake. Looks like it's back testing. Yeah, it looks like it's back testing here. Yeah, I'm going to leave that like that. Not bad. And remember yesterday on was it Injective, right? I decided I didn't want to play with that one. It just wasn't worth it for me. And this is what happened. Let me see, where's INJ. Here it is. I was watching this on the 15th. So this was the level yesterday for Injective that we were watching on the live stream, and I said that it'll come up, maybe reject from the bottom here, or maybe even get in here to the top, and that's exactly what it did. And I decided I didn't want to mess with it, so it did do that little push up that I was expecting for it to do, and of course it followed right behind Bitcoin. I might look back at this one again today. We'll see. We'll see. Swap is not another reason to look at. The only reason why I ended up looking at this one yesterday is because it was the RSI was oversold here on the 15-minute time frame. So I figured some sort of an opportunity would come in for it. So I'll look and see if we can find something else. This is starting to look pretty decent in here, though. I'm not a big fan of Injective, and I know it's doing whatever Bitcoin does. So that's the only thing for me. I like this little inverse ascending triangle. You can see that. Let me see. I'm gonna go with. Bitcoin is still sitting there making the decision right now. And you can see that right there. Can actually, that's pretty perfect with those wicks. It's pretty perfect with those wicks. I'll just do it on the wick there from the low. And I guess you want to make sure it holds this this lower candle in here. This spot right here, you want to see it hold here and not make its way back down here if you're bullish. For injected, but that looks pretty decent. Bitcoin is still waiting, That's why I'm still talking. And let me see what ended up happening with TRX, and make sure that's the right one. I think so. Okay. Yeah, and here I wanted that to hold, and it did break below it and then pushed back up into the cloud. And I still think this one comes down much lower. I turned off that first level that I have in here, but I still think that this one comes down much lower first. So I'm out of the market on Tron at the moment. After I got wicked out yesterday, I just decided to sit this one out. Actually, let me put this back on something that might be worth my attention, which is going to be this one. All right, Ethereum, let's see what's happening. All right, so Ethereum yesterday, the level to watch for Ethereum was this one when we were on live. And that's the one we came into, along with the ascending trend line in here that I also mentioned to you. But you can see this trend line here. All right. And this is where we were yesterday on live at the moment. We were in here and got this breakup, push up, rejection, and we finally made our way down here to our level. So that one actually did hit for anybody who probably participated in that one. Just have to make sure it continues to hit. And we see some continuation up for Ethereum. And then actually, let me look at over here. All right, just back into the cloud here. Okay. All right, we're about to hit that zone on Bitcoin, so I'm going to pop us back over there. Solana is the one I said I did not like the chart. And it's the one holding up. I guess when Ethereum starts performing as good, then Solana gets its time to shine. Because we were already, we had already tapped this one time when I put this on here. We had already tapped it right here. Yeah, this is the one I said I didn't like. And it's holding up pretty good. But I know with the Sol versus ETH charts, it was at resistance against Ethereum. So it might be why it's doing that. Uh, Let me see what else I had in here that was worth looking at. Now, Hyperliquid was holding up really, really good yesterday. It's still kind of holding. BNB ended up rejecting again. And since this is coming from a daily time frame, that's the thing that sucks about it. It's because it really requires a daily candle to close, but it did come back in. So breakout fell yesterday. If it keeps playing around, it's going to lose this here, and then you'll be able to get it lower. All right, let's jump back over here to Biddy. All right, so this is what I want to see hold. Doesn't happen, just going to have to look down here. Okay. I know that we did break that. Like if I did the that was that candle, but we could see that from price action alone. All righty. Oh wow. Oh wow. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look at gold immediately. Immediately. Wow. All right. This is gonna reset us on this 15-minute, and not in a good way if we're not holding here. Okay, so it's not a terrible way. I just hate to go through the drama of not knowing if we can if we can pick it back up. So let's see, is this 15? I mean, not 15, but 4 hour. All right. Oh, something crazy is I was just looking at a post from Cornbury. There were two posts that I looked at that just kind of puzzled the crap out of me. Um, Especially this last post about this whale that keeps, the whale that's just doing his trading, which is cool. But It's wild because I'm trying to understand, like, how is he getting in at these levels? Uh, how did he get in at these prices? Because none of it's making sense to me, and I don't understand how he lost that kind of money off of that trade either. So I'm just a little bit confused about this stuff right here. So while Bitcoin is trying, and I hope it holds. Hope it holds. We'll see if we get some strength behind it. And again, what you're going to be looking at to see if we actually have any strength, or if we have a lack of momentum on this push up, is if we're getting those closes above the prior candle. And the closing above that. Excuse me. This weather's changing here. All right. But this here, wow, Bitcoin. Okay, so trader with 100% win rate is now playing a 433 million leverage long on BTC and ETH. He's holding blah 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 blah. Anyway, you can read the rest of it. Will he lose this time? Blah blah blah. Okay, so you see this right here. Now, when did he get in at this price? When was Bitcoin this price? Because Bitcoin is not this price today. Today's candle, or today's correction. When did it drop this low? It didn't. So I'm not understanding this. And what exchange is he using? That was what I asked. Like, okay, trying to understand these prices and the exchange he on, because I need to be where he is. Then that's a much better entry. That's crazy. Somebody lying somewhere. And then there was this other one here. This one. So a trader lost $1 million going long on BTC and ETH. He went 15x long on both before closing. Like, and it's like, why did you do this? Actually, if they did take an entry right here, why did they lose money? Because actually, I take that back. Yeah, I can see how they bought the resistance. Like, this is somebody who just, I don't know. I don't know about this stuff. I don't know. It's not making sense to me. Like, they bought resistance. If that was their entry, 115. That's resistance. That's, you see this? That is resistance. 115, 467. Now, look at what we were looking at yesterday at resistance, 115, 466. And if you round that up, that's 115, 467. Why would somebody enter on resistance? This has to be somebody that just had money to throw away. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of problems with this, but strategy is definitely one of them. Because we're on live looking at that, and I'm like, hopefully it what? Not making sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if some of this stuff is made up or what. Especially the whale who supposedly took a loan. That doesn't make sense to me at all. Especially when we haven't even dropped that low. I'm sure that there's another exchange to look at, but that's a big difference. I mean, this low right here was 113,483, and this is a Binance chart, and we've seen how Binance moves. So we're talking about 111,000. I don't know what exchange he's on. getting some special deals or something on price. Anyway, I digress. Mm-mm-mm. All right, Biddy, we need this bounce. We need this bounce. Keep holding. I don't have volume turned on anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's weak. It's probably good to look at it. Let me take a look at volume. Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible. What I was really hoping for, which is why I had to throw that tweet out there real quick this morning on what you could look for if you know if you want, we're not up to at least catch this. By the time this candle right here happens, you should have caught on, even if it missed it by $3 right here. Was when we got here, I really wanted it to come back down and back test here first. That would have been perfect. But then I saw us holding and starting to look like we were gonna clear out this order block here. So I went on X real quick and just put something out there before the live stream so you could be up to date when we got in here. I'm going to try to make that my mission to do that before I go live. But really, I like to save things for people who actually show up to show support. I didn't even like on the weekend I will share stuff like this for everybody, but I didn't even go in and share any of this yesterday on my X account. So anybody that was here yesterday, they got the details, and I left it at that. So if you're here, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel to grow, helps us to reach more people. It's such a small account right now. And that's cool. That's cool too. All right, so while Bitcoin is waiting around right here, because we did with the momentum shift right here, there is from this candle right here, this green. Yeah, this green candle right here. Likely there's a momentum line that popped out on that one right there, and that's what we're hitting up against with these lows right here as well. Will be that. So we have to break back above it and shift momentum back around. Yeah, so you see right there. So we want to flip that. Go back and flip that. And we're around the, let's see, here. I can turn this off so you'll have a little bit less noise. I definitely don't want to delete the situation in here with the 50 and the golden pocket or this order block. I can even turn this off. I can delete that one. Well, I don't know. I go back and study all this stuff, so just bear with me. We are hitting the 50 in here. This part looks pretty good. MACD is postured up. Delta is postured up. Looking across above that zero line, that would be great. At the 20 SMA here, on your Bollingers anyway, at the 20 SMA. Who's in control? Nobody really, pretty neutral. And we can see that from here as well. We're neutral. It's slightly up above the 50 in here. And we do want to get that close above the body of this candle so we don't have a bear dip between here and the high right there. So about 17 minutes left on that. I'm feeling a little bit sick on my stomach this morning. Jeez. All right. Oh, boy. It's a terrible feeling this morning. And guys, I know I'm not going to be able to stream a long time today. Oh, gosh, I feel so sick. All right. While we're, this is good because we are showing momentum in here. So I wanted to stay like this with that close. Actually, that was a bearish candle, so that one really is not going to matter. Yeah, because that one was a bearish candle. But we did engulf it, so that matters. That matters. And volatility is the thing that's helping us out right now. See that from here. See how we put in a lower low and the higher low. Volatility is helping us out right here. And that's a big difference between volatility and momentum. But we also engulfed that candle. So I guess it just depends. No indicators, price action, it engulfed. I like indicators. I love them. And I'm good with price action, but I like indicators. I just feel like going on a rant right now. I hate when I get on another YouTuber's channel because I love to support other YouTubers in this space because it helps the space. I guess it helps the space. You know, got some bad apples out there too. They're just trying to fatten their own pockets. But when they say you want to go follow somebody that's drawing trend lines, that matters. Like, seriously, that matters. How do you think old school people did it? How do you think the pioneers did this? Calculating math on a piece of paper, drawing lines. I mean, it matters. You want to go follow somebody that's drawing trend lines and you go do that. Yeah, I do want to follow somebody that's drawing trend lines. I actually do. Because I'm going to draw some. I'm using moving averages, and if you're using an indicator, you're using a moving average. And that's the crazy part. Like, people don't get that. Like, you don't get that. I don't care if you draw your trend line horizontal. It's a freaking trend line. Like, do you hear yourself sometimes? I don't know. I'm just in the space to empower everybody. So I try to go watch people and just hit the like button. Some people, I don't know. I have to take a break from sometimes and then go right back and show some love. It's like the easiest thing to do is just be supportive. Right. We could chop the block in here for a minute. As long as we're holding in here, that's, I mean, we don't want to drop back down below here. So we could chop the block maybe. And then get our break up. And then we'll start to check back in over here, see if we're hitting this and if that's gonna hold as resistance or if we'll actually push through. So A, B, C, D. We'll want to push through. Yeah. A, B, C, D. A break on E. Or no E. No E. Just D, low, and break, and go. Let's see. I wonder if this is any different. Nah. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Before I do it, I'm deleting this line right here. I don't need that one anymore. We've already broken the momentum from that trend line right there. back tested and got the drop. So just keeping this one on here. And I don't think that there was any other one off of that low aside from back over here. That's it. Unless something new comes up, that will be it. And this was from the other day. I don't really need any of this at this point, so I'm just going to delete that. I don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of that. Don't really care. Let's delete that. I study Bitcoin more than anything else, so don't really need the rest of it. We'll do the same thing for Solana, except for that. Yeah, did the same thing for Sol. All right. The cash looks like it might be coming down to that. Looks like it might actually make its way down here. We'll see. See about that. If I was going to draw a trend line, I probably would go with here over maybe that will work through there. We'll see how it does. If it does choose to get down into here. So I was thinking right across here. Let me see if they're basically the same. This would be earlier. If I went with that, that would be earlier. Let's see, even earlier. I could just stick with the horizontal zone. I don't have anything over here that really. No, not really. Maybe. We'll see. I'll check back in on this one. No, I don't have any vibes on it. I don't have any vibes on it. I think I can answer that question now. While Bitcoin is trying to get that close above that candle. I think this is my issue over here. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this box. So our order block is in here, and then unless we close or below this low in here or break below this low in here, bearish order block is going to be sitting right here. So we have to get through this right here, first of all. And we're just going to have repeat bearish order block above us. And I don't want to put too many of them on here. We know if we start taking out one, then we can start looking at the other ones. Just to minimize the noise that I'm putting in here. But it would have to clear out this one right here. So market structure shift or change. Really, it's probably going to be the best thing over here. Or if it does get to drop down into here, it wouldn't change it too much. You'd be looking at this candle right here from that point to start clearing out the red. So until we start attacking the red, I guess that's why the vibe doesn't feel right to me. And the order block to the downside is this one. It is this one, but we're not at that. Yeah, we're not at this one yet. And I'm going to leave it this wide too, because I could just minimize it to probably this one right here. But I'm going to leave it at this width right here. So whichever one happens first is the way it needs to be looked at. It does look like it's trying to round out though. As we keep getting these little buy signals through here. So we're chopping about. Putting in bullish divergence. Didn't really get it off at this one, but from here to here, it's definitely bullish divergence. And this is going sideways, so yeah, they're trying to round out. So you got bull div here. So you got bull div between there and here. Here, we have bull div through there. Yeah, no bull div right there too. Okay, yeah, so bullish divvies all across here for Zcash. Bullish divvies. On volatility as well. So I would do it like that. If you want to be a momentum breaker, I would do it like that. And what I will do is I'm gonna keep checking to see if at any point anything in here starts to change, but definitely got bull divs. It's a little bit more bearish at the moment, or a little bit more weakness at the moment getting a move up. So if it happens, maybe something like this. Let's say we clear this out right here, or it drops into this one right here. You can also, if you're not a trend line hater, you can also look at it like that. And I can be a perfectionist sometimes. That's why I hate using the brush, because I can't draw my lines straight. That's good enough. It's off a little bit, so that's good. All right. Check back on Zcash. Look back in on Bitcoin. Still not getting the strength we need to see in here. We did barely get that closure up above there. We got it, just barely. Just trying to see. Volume is low. We're missing new capital. Ethereum's pause. Shiranza. Guy from yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but for Brett, because I get caught up a little bit sometimes. But I was mentioning the rejection from right here, and this is the zone I was saying price would want to come back and look to hold, especially because you have your ribbons just kind of sitting through here. You don't want to lose that momentum and start to break below those and come back down here towards the weekly level. So it holds in here. You're looking for another attempt on it and gets above this level now. It's very likely it's going to hit in here. There's a lot of confluence in here. You got your golden pocket, you got your order block in here, your bearish order block. You got your descending trend line through here. So we'll see what happens with this little old Brett. Little old Brett. While we're still chopping. All right, gold. While Bitcoin is still chopping about. All right, so I was watching this yesterday, and we started to price started. I'm saying we because I'm not in gold. The price started to consolidate right inside of here, but it broke down instead. So I guess we're gonna start doing the start putting some red boxes in here now. Okay, because these green boxes, these green zones you see in here, this is just where price was doing the same thing, where we can create these consolidation level zones in here around the 10 and the 26, and then get the pump up. So consolidation in here around the 10 and the 26, and then get a push up. Consolidation, same thing. Consolidation, same thing. Same thing down there. So now And like I said, 10 to 26, 26 start acting as resistance now. And until that flips around, be looking for a little bit more downside. We're almost at this one now, since we have lost that one. So maybe I'll overlap with some red zones now. And I'm just, again, looking at consolidation zones and not order blocks on gold. Maybe I'll just leave it like this. That way I can tell. Gold. And I shared yesterday where I thought gold could end up at, and we'll see. And I also talked about the fact that the last time gold actually saw a pullback like that one, it took roughly about three. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case this time, but it did take roughly about 3.5 years before it managed to get back up and flip that high. And that's just an observation. It's not me saying that that is going to be what happens this time. It's an observation of saying, hey, back in 2020, it took, I think it was 2020, it took that long for gold to come back up and flip that level. It's 2022. Yeah, it took a long time. You got those moves in between, but that was the last time right there. So it was around the end of 2020. It was right here. So it did take quite a bit of time to actually get up and flip that high once again. And you still got your moves in between. But it wasn't until, was it this year? He even took liquidity off of that high, but didn't manage to flip it until here. So it was March, okay. So March 2024 here. Which is weird because, or not weird, I noticed how March is such a good month for gold. I noticed a few times in here how March was the start of a rally for gold. So I'm just not paying attention to this one. So this is probably like the third time. There were two other times in here where it was like March 10th. That's March 1st. So I don't know, might be something to it. I have to go back and really look at it. But March was a good month. All right. All right, so just below standard deviation 1 here, yeah, just below here. Eesh. There probably could be something to standard deviation 2, but of course this is the level that I'm looking at for price to potentially drop back into. And if yes, I'm going to go ahead and somewhere down in here. I am going to go in here. Let me stop being petty. I was going to say draw another trend line, but and something to look forward to that I like using the Bollinger Band for is when you get in here and it starts to get, if it starts to get stuck in between here and it starts doing one of these right here, you be waiting. I mean, you don't have to wait. You can catch the bottom. Um, but that would speak to the momentum to the downside, the same way it spoke to the momentum to the upside. How you hold control through here, moving in harmony. Start doing that in here, moving in harmony. It's not your time. Not your time to be trying to buy it. Really, it's not financial advice. Let's see what happens. Dropping just a little bit. Pre-market. Circle better not start acting crazy. I need the circle to make its way up here. I really do. I know that eyes are probably looking at this for the head and shoulder. There's always a probability. This could have been a back test. I don't have it drawn off the absolute low of this candle, so it could have been a back test rejection right here. I'm going to put this back. Actually, I'm not going to even bother with that one. Let me just do this right here. No, it actually broke above it. No, that's good. Anyway. All right, go. Maybe I should have put that as a zone. I'm just thinking back on circle. It might have been a good idea. I'll do that going forward. Momentum still fine on the 1 hour so far. All right, we might, let me see. I'm not feeling this right now. We got less room to chop at this point. Here, it is a lot less space to chop. Could just say basically that same momentum line through here. Really, that's starting to become defined line in the sand. So if we are still dropping into this top side of this zone right here, we need to respond to that rather quickly. Wick at closure to that point, but it's really, I chose to go horizontal. It would be that again. It would still be this. That. Here at this point. It's not looking too good on the 15. And the 1 hour right here, a little bit of an indecision right here. Momentum was fine up until that point right there. With that candle, it's all right. Yeah, we were fine all the way up through here. And we just got the lows in here that we're heading to. Got too much time left on this one, but so far, 4 hours, okay with that candle. This was actually the most oversold we got throughout this entire move. Beforehand, we was probably putting in about 1 or 2 of those red candles, and each time we got one of those, we got the bounce to the upside. So that was, since down here, yeah, that was about the most we were getting. Actually, Right here, we won't get that much weakness in price action until here. So I don't really pay attention to this. No, it's fine. It's fine. I know one thing, if we do get that push up to challenge this 116, we'll probably do so with a bear dip off that 4-hour time frame. We might just do that if that happens, but we are in relative strength on the 4-hour, so that's still the hopium for now. This bounce was actually pretty perfect because over here, I don't know how it lines up on this chart. It's like nah, it doesn't line up over here at all. Might just be this one. No, it's not this one either. What am I looking at? I don't know. It's weird. I'm just looking at the actual exchange information, and it's completely different. That's interesting. All right. It's completely different. I don't know if that's an error with TradingView or if it's just the exchange. Because I swear I'm looking at something different on the exchange. compared to here. That's the formula from the indicator is different, which doesn't make sense if it is. We still gotta get above this, close above this week. Everything else is still the same. Ethereum still the same. Solana with a little bit of a slight rejection, a little bit more than ETH at the time. I didn't even check back over here on Zcash. Like I said, I was gonna look at it. Not quite making it down here to this level right here, which is cool. Trying to get above this little trend line I popped in here off of these candles down. Basically engulfing this candle right here. It's about 2 minutes on it, but it definitely looks like it might actually be an engulfed candle. So that'll be a positive right here. It still has time to engulf it. Still has time. And like I said, bull dips through here. That's still a thing. Perfect back test. Perfect back test on that trend line. I can turn these candle colors off to make it easier to see. Bitcoin's still not managing to push through that. Still not managing to push through that resistance. not gonna move this. What was I about to say? Yeah, so I can eliminate any confusion. Do it like that. Because um, even without the close, this can, well, it won't stop price from moving up. You just know that there's relative weakness in the move up if we're not getting the closures above it. But let's see. I know that. Let's see if I add this chart to my watch list. Okay, I see something I didn't see before. All right, so one of the things with Zcash right now, the reason why, I mean, whatever Bitcoin is doing, basically, I would assume that Zcash will probably be moving in relative strength. Well, be moving in sync with Bitcoin for the most part, just because it did hit resistance. Um, and then check this out. All right, so I just put these ribbons on here because I didn't have these on before, but that's the 200 right there for Zcash on the weekly time frame. I was like, I can't. Yeah, I didn't have. Yeah, but we broke this one right here because it was at resistance in here before, and that's what we started seeing that first, you know, correction off of Zcash, and then we broke through that one, and we got that extra push up that I really honestly I wasn't expecting for it to break from here, but it did, and it moved up into this level right here. But the 200 is sitting right here. It is absolutely, and where I have the box dashed out right here. So that seems to have been on point. If it does manage at some point to make its way in here uh, to this, that might be it for a thorough correction. We got to keep in mind that when we look at this on when we look at this on a Zcash price action against USD or USDT anyway, stablecoin, dollar. That one candle, that's a lot. That's a lot, and it is quite overextended. Very, very overextended. Um, but yeah, let's see what happens in here. See what happens if it does manage to make its way up here. But again, still hitting resistance against Bitcoin through here. So I would think it would do more what Bitcoin is doing. I would think. Nice move off of that break right there. Then we did see that against Bitcoin flip green for a sec there too. It's still at resistance. It's still at resistance. So make your money, take your money, and move on. That's what I would say. So even without what I was trying to explain right in here, even without a closure above this candle right here, if it keeps doing that, when it gets up here, it could be a rejection point again, because it would indicate a lack of momentum. But I mean, all we can do is wait until it gets here. But if I say but one more time, and I just did it, it can still move up here. It does just indicate momentum isn't there on the move, and we could see another rejection from that point. Trading is patience for certain. Trading is patience. The bull deal is going to have to give though, and it will get that push up. I'm still not bullish on Zcash though. Not at this point anyway. And I haven't at one point traded it because I just didn't. Which, shame on me, because there's a lot of money to be made off of this thing. Might take a short off of it though. If it can fulfill what I'm looking at against BTC, I will take a short off of it. Just certain things are not going to be sustainable. Like this one candle. Come on. This one candle. You see how that one candle went the last time? That's not sustainable. Not at all. And anybody who think they about to get another one of these right behind it, it's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. It's nice though. Yeah, look at it on 3 month. I don't know. Maybe I'm too bearish. I might be too bearish. But because I haven't made any trades off of it, it's easier for me to talk about it and not be biased. I don't have any emotions in it. I'm sorry for whatever's going on with this streaming music. This should not be a place we come back to, but I'm just going to leave it in here for now. Maybe I should delete it. I can delete it. I can always draw it back if it's necessary, but we don't want to do that. This is it right here. I feel empty without it. I just feel like I need to be prepared for something. If we don't get this close outside of here and above this candle. All right, Zcash might be ready to move up. Might be ready to pop my little ugly head back over here again. It did close above this line in here. It is maintaining above it. It does have some weakness in the momentum throughout here, but it still looks like it might be ready to at least push back up into this trend line right here, if not break it. So Bitcoin looks like it's going to drop. To be honest, right now that's what it looks like. It's going to hopefully hold it at that top box that we have. There's still a lot of time left on this candle right here, even with that. And I'm just putting two and two together because, just like I said, got the bullish divvies throughout here, the bullish divergence, and we did just get that drop throughout here. So my eyes are looking up at this point. So I'm gonna come back over here and check us out in a few minutes because yeah, it's still got plenty of time regardless of the volatility throughout there. Still weakness again, no closure above the prior candle. Still shows weakness and momentum, but it's more ready to push up than down, I would say. Bitcoin, we struggling. Our low is rising. As we're squeezing in right here, so we'll probably drop back down. It gets testy back here again. You need that miracle. CME is looking like CME is looking like this at the moment. So, and again, like I said, this looks like a breakaway gap. Breakaway gaps happen when you have like a formation, some sort of a pattern, and then price gaps up and breaks away, breaks the pattern, breakaway gap. Unless this was just a failed breakout. It would have to be a failed breakout to come back in and fill this gap right away. Otherwise, it would just be a back test here and then a continuation. You wouldn't even feel all of this, not immediately. So maybe, maybe it does that. Partially comes in, goes back up, takes out this high. I want to say it would get to 120. I cannot guarantee that. That would be the next level I would be looking at. I have to go in and look at the time frame to see if there was anything different. Maybe 118. And then we come back in and fill in this gap. And then that's Ethereum's right here. And see how it tapped into it. I didn't even go back over here check and see that. Now this could have a better chance at it. This could have a better chance. I don't know if people were looking at this as a head and shoulders or what the idea was here. It might have a better chance at filling in the gap. And then that's Solana's right here. I would say the same deal with Solana. I check back in on these gaps as I'm going through here for today. But those two look like they definitely have a better chance at getting filled. Just, I don't know, I just feel different about Bitcoin, but we'll see. I guess if they're moving in sync, then that'll make a difference. Is he catching the same spot? You can't just look at the 60 altogether instead of the trend line, just the 60. We're holding above it. We start to dip below it again. Then that'll be the thing there as we are getting this little rise in here. I know momentum is a little shaky right here, even though it's blue. You can tell from the delta again. It's going out. But it all falls on the MACD at this point. See, catch still flat. That would basically be the same thing that I'm looking for. Off the 15 minutes, a closure above this candle right here, since we did get kind of like an indecision right there. This 1 hour still looking decent on the 4. Oh, the only thing with the 4 hour is I keep saying it looks decent. So full transparency off of this 4 hour time frame, it's just going to be the indicators, right? All right. So we did manage to hold the trend line down through here with the RSI, and it is still in relative strength in here. But you can already see that we did start to lose some momentum once we got once we broke down below over. Um, yeah, once we broke down below bottom. And then right here again, they do have a little bit of a squeeze in here, and this to the upside tends to lead to a move down, so we end up breaking the 20 SMA. Doesn't tell me when. It's just really just a break of the 20 SMA. So like over here, and sometimes they can squeeze for a while, right? So just like in here, I know that I'm expecting to move down based on that. And then the other thing is MACD and Delta are both negative. So this light color in here means the MACD is tilting down, and the Delta also tilting down, and it is below the 0 line in here. So that's that. It will need to come back up above the 0 line there. And then here, you can see this shade right here throughout here, how it lightened out in here. Bulls are still, the strength still lies to the upside more than anything, but that shade throughout here. So yeah, there is some stuff to watch on the floor for certain. All right, we just got that 1 hour, and we did not get that close above this candle. Oh, bulls are losing steam. What's happening? We've been stuck here for a minute. See, cash, like I said, you have to wait for the candle to close. So taking your emotions out can be kind of difficult when you see the little red candles. That's why I like to use my candle color too. So I'm not looking at red and green. Because it did hold in here. And it's trying, but it is still weakness. But I do look up more than I do down at this point, like I said. As it pushes up towards this 20 at this point, which might be in confluence with this trend line. Let's see. Let me just take this away. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So your standard deviation 1 and 2 is right here. So maybe, I don't know, if it rejects here, then no expansion. If it pushes through, then you get an expansion. But that would be the thing right here, instead of it lining up with the trend line. Yeah. just choppy price action because it's going through it. More positive than negative. This is our last hour before we get into the 4 hour candle open. So this is the part where we get tested on Bitcoin price action. Breaking that. I see this koi thing is down 25.6%. I might want to take a look at that. Virtuals is killing it. H bar with the come up. Litecoin, that's my baby right now. This really don't matter to me anymore. I drop that. We're just dragging out this drop. And I really didn't want price to take out this, but it looks like we might actually. I mean, just see how it does once it does. Uh, yeah, we're just dragging that out. You just flip through. All right, see cash. Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting for it to break through here so easily, but I expect for it to break through, you know, the lows and stuff in here. Plus that 20 SMA that's running through here. But I do expect for it to break through. Even if it breaks this trend line, it could be a little rejection. can still see a rejection outside of it, just so you know that. Okay. See what the candles look like once we get in here. Bitcoin just dragging out this drop. XRPZ. Let me drop down on the XRP chart. I should put it on 15. Come back and analyze that chart. Look at virtual, boy. Getting choppy in here. Renewed attempt on Bitcoin. It still hasn't gotten above the last candle high just yet. Just throwing that out there to you while watching Zcash. Like I said, even if it breaks this line in this moment right here, it could be a rejection and then a slight rejection or sideways price action or something like that. But if it doesn't, then hoorah. This is still the bearish order block right here. No new bearish order block. And if it clears this one out, then yeah, I mean, I'd just be looking forward to get into the rest of these bearish order blocks through here. Try to break through those. I considered taking a trade on this. I just don't know. Just rather stay out of it. But I'm a good cheerleader. I am a good cheerleader. I just want to take a look at what the EMAs look like over here for Zcash. Okay. Interesting. We talked about that. And you can factor in the ribbons too when I threw them up here. Thank you. Factor in a couple of things actually. I didn't mean to turn that one on. Challenges. I think the RSI keeps popping up like that because it kept rejecting around the 50 throughout here. Back up here on Bitcoin real quick. I mean, we already broke the momentum. I mean, the momentum was weak anyway coming up. We could see that. It's just taking its time. We did clear the path of this. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this order block here. Don't really need it for anything right now. I'm just drawing a new one if we get it. And like I said, this is not an order block right here, but it was just a level that I could see that we needed to hold. And if we do come back down to it, hopefully, it's something like that right there so we can get the move up. And that was a terrible example. That's why I don't use that thing. I hate that tool. No, I like it. I'm just no good with it. I need I need one of the pads and the pencils because me with this mouse, I see people using it and they do it so easy and quick. And then yeah, I'm a little anal too, so mm-mm, mm-mm. Hopefully it does one of these. Choppers. Not the low thing down here though. Like something like that. So hopefully it does something like that. Don't really want it below that low either. Something like that. Jeez. All right, Zcash making another attempt here. While Bitcoin does nothing. We tried. I suppose this is another one of those mornings where we're waiting on the market to open, traditional market to open. Um, this is what we're looking like on bubbles because the market is trying to bore me away. All right, 7.3 now on that. BNB 1.7. We saw those charts right there. Virtual's still holding up and killing it right now. I never realized it was virtual symbol right there. Interesting. Here they got listed on Robinhood too recently. So I think both virtuals and pump both got listed over there. I wanted to look at Afterchart again. I just keep thinking about the negative stuff, the comments that people have been making. Just kind of getting in my head with that. This koi, whatever this is, I never looked at the chart before. I don't mind taking a look at this. Chain Opera. Yeah, okay, Chain Opera, yeah. Down 23.9%. It probably has a ton of tokens locked up too. I don't really like those projects like that. The airdrops and then everything is still locked up and they have the frequent unlocks and yeah. Those are only fun in the beginning. Meme core. Alright, XLM. A lot of red. At least on the top 100. What is this? Ape and Pepe. Okay, so a mutant. A fart coin. I stay away from coins that have names like this. Useless. Rug pool. Names like that that suggest they're not going to be around. I stay away from that. This is garbage. Hey, Beam. I haven't looked at Beam in forever. Oh. Market is absolutely not doing a thing. OG. Look at AMP, up 4.4%. They got miggles and giggles. At the top 300. Yeah, yeah. Two to three, 201 to 3 is looking pretty decent. Looking as decent. Looks better than the top 100. Bio units. What is this? Kita. Varus. I like to look at Turbo down 3.6%. I didn't even look at Turbo in forever. This just kind of stood out to me. I like to look at token names and find something that actually just sticks to me. That one just stuck to me for whatever reason. That's how I usually find the best performers by looking at names and be like, oh, I feel attached to that. My spirit said Paris, whatever that is. I'm gonna take a look at that. Probably after stream, if I remember it. After stream. All right, let me look back over here at this chart. Same energy that we talked about, potentially breaking the trend line but rejected right there, even though it gets a little bit of a break. Solana, no real change in here either. For Sol, Ethereum, I could see the little triangle that ETH was putting in every time I flipped over here to the chart. So you can see that right there. And it looks like it just got a little breakup from that little triangle. Okay. Ethereum. Bitcoin at it again. I'm telling you that 15-minute is, I don't know what it's doing, but I'm just waiting on it to get a little bit of a correction. Doesn't have to be a lot. I don't want the correction, but it just looks like it's headed towards it. Even though we keep doing this little pop back up here every time. $21 minutes left. Like I said, 4-hour candle, new 4 hours about to open. Next few minutes here. So we'll get a little bit testy in here. But it looks like we'll get a decent close off of that 4-hour. Just this 15-minute. I just want to say gold. Only place gold has bullish divergence on that 4-hour time frame is on the delta. Otherwise, it doesn't have any, but it does have some on the delta, which suggests. I mean, it did deviate kind of off from that 10 quite a bit. It could just be pulling back into that 10. We'll see. Maybe it wants to push back into the 26 instead, and that'd be around 4,058, something like that right now. And then potentially, as I'm talking, let me just walk you through what I'm saying. If you're into gold, yeah, just prolonging. Okay, took that liquidity. I was a good short entry right there. I don't know. I don't. I'm scalp short because I'm trying to hold in here. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to hold this top side. The SFP. The spring price action. Momentum was already broken. We do that. So that little spring. I mean, this is all one leg up. So this really doesn't matter if we do drop below it. I just didn't want it to. Because on the lower time frame, it will mean something. Just on the 15-minute, it won't mean anything. Because it's one leg. This low matters on the 15-minute. The only thing this could be doing is going super slow to put in some more bull dips, but it is simply prolonging the inevitable. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So while that's happening, we talk to you about gold. All right, because gold is going to come back and revisit this 10 and possibly this 26 right here. It's just going to be how it moves. So, like I said, we flipped the script from where we were. We had our swings to the upside here above the 10. And then our back test would generally be back here. It came over quite a bit right here. But our back test would be back here into the 26. So we just flipped the script. So now we got our moves that go down below the 10 and we come back in, we back test our 26. We go down below the 10, we come back and we back test our 26 here on gold. So what I'm looking at down here, let me just take that away. You do got a little bit of a squeeze in here. That suggests some sort of a move to the upside could be present for the only place I'm actually seeing any bullish divergence is going to be right here off of the delta itself, nothing off of the MACD. So that's insane. But this delta, that could be the thing, especially if this pushes up above the zero. Maybe it works this time. You see it tried 1-2 times in here, didn't work out so good. And but it will come back and retest these. It's deviated pretty far off from them, so it will come back and back test it. Haven't been getting above the 50 here on the RSI, as you can see. So you're not getting above the 50 at all. Had a back test in here off of that last, let me see what push up was that off of this one right here. Back test rejection, back test rejection. So again, like I said, no bullish divergence across here at all, but nice trend regression line right here. We can see the momentum break in here and probably push back up into here. Like I said, the 1026, something like that. It seems to be on the table for it. This is hinting towards some sort of a cool off in the selling here as well. So today could be the day that we actually see, even if it's a back test into this breakdown right here. This just a no, I don't want to see that. Well, maybe you do want to see that. probably doesn't come back in that much. Let's see what this drops down to. But definitely could come back in and kiss the 26. Right now it's sitting at 4,058. I would most certainly look towards the 39.91 for sure, or wherever that 10 is going to be at. I don't really put this one on that. Yeah, I don't really put this one on it. You can if you like to. That's the 5. I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me over here. And this means it's probably in standard deviation 1 and 2, just holding, going down, being ping-ponging in between those two. That's probably what it's doing. Yeah. So you can see how it's just ping-ponging in between here. That's where we at on momentum. Terrible. So you can see why I use the 10 and 26 EMA too, because it's the closest you get to standard deviation 1, and the 20 SMA is by using those two. So it's really interesting. And it just hits a lot better. So I prefer that. All right, Bitcoin. Pulling back up above standard deviation 1. And this is a daily time frame, so it could actually, by the end of the day, still be respecting it. Since they haven't official, I mean, you can always run through these, but yeah. They're sideways right now, and they're not actually turning down. Which is also why if gold did drop in here right now, it'd probably be a weak low, and be looking for it to really pop if something like that happens, which would not give me what I think would happen right here, but broke the momentum line right there. This was the other momentum line that was broken right here. So clean entry off of that one, unless you just waited on this, that to break, or the 20 from the trend line down here to break. But those were three points of getting in if you wanted to get short on it. No big difference in there. And then, yeah, just still bearish into here. I was waiting on this breakdown forever. I'm gonna jump back over on Bitcoin. I can see we're getting that little move down. And this bear did, bull dipped up from this point. This bull dipped up. It's holding these highs right here, which is why it didn't drop down into that this block or that ranging section, because it's holding those highs. Bitcoin, like I said, just prolonging the inevitable, because we already broke momentum. So that was a good spring. SFP short even if it's scalp. It was still a good spot as far as the RSI goes. And that would be our test. And we'll leave that like that. We can watch and learn together. I'll bring this up some. And I can see all of this from my signals I have in here on it, but it's just those are wavy, and so I like to go with the white line. So if I'm looking at this line right here, I really be looking at that that blue that blue one right there. And if I'm looking at this one right here across these points that it touched, I would really be looking at this one right here. And then there's really nothing for this fast one. It's just quick decision making in these drops that we get in price action. That's all. You know, it just gives me faster entries if I wanted to take something like that, which not really. So I like to see the momentum at different phases or different stages in the RSI. Just depends on what style I'm going with. This is where we're looking. Turns out trend lines work, right? I don't know why I let that get under my skin, but it does. It does. It does that. People have been trading long before us. We're not even old enough to understand, and this is what they did. And we're talking about millionaires. Millionaires, billionaires. This is what they did. And if we're not holding this box in here, even if we do something like just breaking it below it a little bit, even if we're just breaking below it a little bit, That's fine. Just need to come back into it and chop it and break it back up. Oh, I put this on here when I was posting it. I don't really need that text in there. If we're doing more than this, we're doing something different, okay? We're doing something different if we get down here and we are not holding this. With the 2 minutes left, man, they know how to play games, right? So the 2 minutes was left on this candle, and I want to see us close above here. Don't look like we'll get that with these 2 minutes left. If we're going to avoid the signals on the 4-hour playing out, which is what I showed you earlier, if we're going to avoid breaking that momentum line right there, playing out this squeeze right here, the negative posture on the MACD and the delta, that one still is okay though. If we're going to avoid that, I think it's kind of important. Let me look back at the Zcash. Yeah, it straight up rejected right there for now. So no bullish order block from there either. I guess on this, since it did not manage, but as expected, it would be some sort of a rejection, even if it did break this trend line right here. The only thing I can say on this right now, because the bullish order block is still sitting down in here, momentum again still did shift down here, so I don't think that we come back, come down here again below this point. My eyes are still focusing that it breaks out of here cleanly and maybe has some struggles around this bearish order block. The scenario can still be kept on the table. I'm leaning towards it not taking out this low again. Taking out this low. If it needs to fuel, it'll do it, but I'm leaning on it not doing that. We're just holding the 50 right now. It's definitely the kind of break. I don't know if you remember me talking. Well, I don't know if you've been here for this, but right here, see how we're outside of that Bollinger? That's that grayed out color right there. That's something that flips into a green candle. That will flip into a green candle whenever it gets extended outside of that band. You can expect some sort of a corrective move in, as long as it doesn't put in like a bear did, because you can see here this purple one, it didn't give much when it did it there. It gave a lot more when it did it on this one right here. So you see it go outside that purple right there and come back in. Let's see, here off of these lows right here, we were outside that gray band. And you can see how we got that push to the other side right here. Doesn't always go outside the band right here. You can see us outside the band right here. We come back in, we get that bounce up. So this is something that I would be looking for a bounce up off of. This is another great example right here. We're outside this band right here, and you can see it was outside right here, right here, right here, all the way down through here. But yeah, sometimes it'll chop it. A lot of times it's just a clean move. Because it doesn't like to stay outside of that band. All right, a good 9 minutes right here. So and if this is going to have any success, let's just say, no, let's just say we get in here. I'm going to set this on that, like that. And it doesn't need to be that far down. You at least want to get a 3-to-1, right? That's just a 0.11 right there. Let me see where that lands at. So I wouldn't want it to be that close. I'm gonna set it at 15. So you at least want a 3-to-1 if you were looking to get long. If you're short, and let me see what this is. Coordinates. I think that was correct. No, it's like that. This can be extended for at least a 3 instead of this, how I have it at a 3.3. I just don't think that it's useful if it is coming in. Yeah, I just leave it like that because you don't want to see it breaking too much below here. Now let's just pull a fib. So we're looking at about a 50% retracement max. Something like that. Because if it's doing, like that, if it's doing this, then it's a bit too much. If it's doing that, it's too much. I didn't even realize I was going to match up to where I put that stop. But yeah, 50% retracement max is about as much as you want to see on this move right here. Otherwise, it probably could be doing something different, and because it'd be breaking any momentum I'm seeing, any momentum structure I'm seeing on it. if it did that. On your 4-hour. On your 4-hour, let's just say you took the short from here, then this would probably be something that you would be looking for, which would basically be filling in that gap. It would be down here. So that kind of sucks. We got that 4-hour candle open 11 minutes ago. So hopefully things can turn around here for the bulls. Hopefully. When it starts moving again, I'm gonna open it back up. But for now, that's probably about something that I'll be looking for on this right here. It's pretty in line with this high. It would have to dance. Doesn't dance, then we wouldn't have a choice but to look at this right here. And this would be bad. This would be bad. Yeah, this is going to be bad. We're coming in here. Now we could get in here and dance and reset momentum or something like that, but that could also mean that we actually test this trend line. So we actually come into here, test this trend line, even take liquidity off of this trend line, and maybe look at something like that would be bad. Yeah, it would just be bad. It's not. I'm missing something. Let me see what I'm missing. It would just be bad. Right about now at this point, actually, I'm just gonna put hold right here. If we get in here, we might get a little bit of a bounce, but I would expect continuation. I would expect continuation. this is not gonna be nice. If we think we're gonna come back up here and access this, actually I'm gonna do it like that. Just and so yes, that does suggest that if we're not holding somewhere in here, not interested in this, it might work out. I don't know. We won't know until we see what's going on with the candles at that point. And that would make me think maybe we'd be down here trying to hold this as support. I rethink that. Which would, I guess, equate to filling in that gap. And yeah, that just turned into a terrible close. All right, here's the test to see if we can actually hold this in here and get this move up. If not, you know, it is what it is. Because everything is banking on that. So while Bitcoin is doing that, Zcash tried again. Remember what I shared with you on those moving averages too. Those EMAs that were kind of postured in through here around this bearish order block in here. So it's grappling with it. It did actually push up through that 20 SMA through here. Also got above that 5. This has been really choppy through here. So that's what you're really going to want to see. You're going to want to see this bearish order block get taken out once again. That's what you're going to want to see. So, like I said, I didn't expect for it to come back down here at all. Not based on what I'm seeing in the chart, but it is grappling with the resistance in here, through here. And then, like I said, with this right here, you see that? We looked at that right there. But that, I mean, overall, it looks pretty decent. So that's your Zcash. Check back in on it again. Check out Solana. Made its way back down here again, which, like I said, look more likely to Feeling that CME. But that's Solana. Ethereum outperforming Sol at the moment, at least on this pullback. We've had our one test in here, so do we actually not hold this trend line this time? But anyway, again, Solana, CME gap, Ethereum, CME gap. ETH is holding up better right now. And then Bitcoins, of course. All right. This is our test. This is our test. Slide this over. So it's not in the way. It's not looking the best. That was a good entry off of that SFP, that spring we got after we broke that momentum on the RSI. And we're at it right here. We're at it. We still got 6 minutes on this candle to confirm if we're breaking this one too, or if we're gonna hold it and flip back up. We're gonna hold it and flip up. We still won't have any structure across here just yet. That's why I'm saying to chop, maybe like a bounce up or something like that, and then we have a pivot on the RSI, but we don't have any structure on this right now. And if you're short, I would lock in some small profits in here just in case it does try to hold. If you're somebody who got short off of that SFP right there, I would lock in a little bit of profit right here just in case. You don't have to close it out completely because we don't even know how this is going to work out just yet. And it could, be very bearish. And we're down here trying to get something out of this order block right here, maybe for another lower high and continuation down. That could be the scenario. That could be. I like that small little move right there. We're still outside the band. I'm expecting some sort of a reaction, at least to give us some sort of structure here off of this RSI, if at best, just so we can look at what we do next. But otherwise, it was a harsh rejection, everybody. It was a harsh rejection. The 4 hour did not hold up. It looked good to start with, but it did not hold up. It looked decent to start with. Indicators of flashing some other stuff in there, but some weakness. But it's not over. And if this doesn't hold, personally, I won't really entertain. I was just looking at what I was looking at on the 1 hour time frame, but honestly, I won't entertain a long until the gap is filled. I think that's going to be about right. If it doesn't, then I have that indicator over here. If it doesn't, then I probably wouldn't entertain anything else until it did come down into here to fill in this gap. Which means I need to delete this crap over here. Did I delete it already? I don't know where that's coming from, but it's not there. It's not that. Maybe I did delete it. Okay, it looks like I deleted it. Yeah, I would not be no, this is the 4 hour. My bad. Definitely won't entertain this. Maybe entertain it down here. Yeah, maybe entertain it down here. I'll delete it for now. I want to look at the order block. All right, with that said, we did put in this bearish order block right here. It's pretty large, but we do have that. All right. I'm about to do my wrap up, so I'm gonna walk you through your scenarios for Bitcoin. Again, before I get out of here, check something. All right. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. All right, so you see what I'm looking at over here on the 15-minute time frame. Basically, trying to hold this zone in here, even if it does wick over it a little bit, you want to be able to chop the block and hold this and get another push back up here. Doesn't mean too much with the 1 and the 4 hour time frame. Okay, just the 15-minute analysis right here, trying to hold the support line, get back above this 50 here on the RSI, get a push back up here, might even just reject, coming back, trying to get back in here to this order block. Let's just say this candle right here, maybe this candle low right here, if it gets that move back up. But right now, this is what we're trying to hold on a 15-minute time frame. All right, we don't have any structure in here just yet on the 15-minute, nothing just yet, which is why, just a little bounce in here right now. That's as much as I can say on this 15-minute time frame. Anything below this must hold. It's not a good look for the 15-minute, and we'd be trying to reset the momentum to get another push back up. But you lose all your momentum below here. You lose all of it. Whatever upside momentum the 15-minute time frame has, it's gone below this point. So looking at the golden pocket, forget about it. That's why I got the 50 here. That's why it reads must hold. I recognize that that's important. Okay. Now I'm gonna push out to the 1 hour while we got that little candle bounce right there. I'm gonna push out to the 1. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking at here on the 1 hour, like I said. And this too, you could do this. You can do this free indicator, just plotting one indicator on top of another one to get these kind of signals like this right here. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for over here on the 15-minute time frame. All right, so do not, it's not financial advice, but I'm just telling you, below that 50, momentum has a problem on the 15-minute time frame. Do not be looking at that golden pocket. Don't. It's always the first thing that traders look to, but you have to also recognize what's going on behind the candles, and golden pocket may not be the move. So don't get stuck on that golden pocket. This is it right here on the 15-minute time frame. Over here on this 1 hour time frame, same situation. I'm looking here at this 50 as a place that has to hold if the 15-minute is going to continue to roll over here. If we're not going to push up and a break out of whatever this is right here, which I can stretch this out a little bit more. Now, even though I'm looking at this and it's like, oh, okay, we can drop down here into this golden pocket right here, we're still not sitting in a good spot if we do that, which really is going to open up the door to drop lower. I would look at the 786. I would look at the 786, to be honest with you. Even though we'll be in this gap, I would be looking at the 786. Not saying you have to take this out of the equation. This is your bullish order block right here. You would have, you would have this bottom line right here. Maybe you even want to extend that down to here or something. I'm gonna keep it like I got it right there. But I'm not tied to this golden pocket on this one right here. For me, it will be this right here. And then if this is not holding, then that's just it. But this is really critical. So if it loses this right here, this is the last leg. I don't really like it below here. But then this will be the last line of defense for me. To say that this gap is going to be filled in completely if it lost this. Okay. So likely fill below your 786. Likely fill. Not interested in this golden pocket, even with some of the stuff I'm seeing in here. I just don't have any interest in that. here on the 1 hour time frame, which also has a squeeze, by the way, because we're sitting in a pocket in here. I turn on this one and this one. We're sitting in between both of these right here. So that tells me that there is a squeeze happening here on the 1 hour time frame. We're just hovering around that 20 SMA right now also. Yeah, yeah, we're just hovering in between that. So I actually like this 1 hour time frame, which is why I want us to be able to hold what we have in here and not break down from here. Okay, I actually like that because I like the pocket that we're sitting in here on the RSI. I like that. Um, and there was no structure, as you can see from when I turned that on. There's no structure here for a line across here right now. There's nothing. So it's either it holds in between this pocket or it breaks below here and comes down. So that's it. So really want this to work out. And the 1 hour looks like it will give us a move faster than the other time frames that I look at between the 15, and the 4 hour. Your 1 hour looks like it's gonna be your baby. All right. Coming here to our 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I've got anyway, that candle close ended up sucking. It was looking pretty good. Then, like I said, we still had time on it. This is where the market really tests us right here. Okay. So with the 4 hour time frame, I ended up adding this in here. So you can look at your 50 to your golden pocket, because you would have to focus on this entire block right here. You would have to focus on this. This is good. Turn that green. So this is good. This is your order block. So assuming that price comes back and it back tests here and it doesn't hold and it falls in to fill in the gap, you would need to look back at CME, but from what I could tell, the gap is filled below these lows right here. So you can keep your eyes peeled somewhere up around here, maybe even take this candle right here instead. Maybe even take that. That still puts you in between here, so that won't make sense for me to draw that out. It won't make sense for me to draw that out. It won't. But this is your order block right here. So maybe we come down in here. Maybe that happened. Oh, it looks like we're doing pretty good over there for now. Maybe we come back down in here. And if we're looking for prices to get the move up, I'm just going to stop it right here. But I would assume that we still have the ability to do something like that. Actually, let me turn on the daily real quick. What is this? That's 117,900. The top side of my block right there. That would be bold to get above here. It really would be. I didn't realize I was looking at that. And apparently I was. I guess because I didn't have this time frame on. Yeah. Time frame means a lot, right? That means a lot. That was a bad candle right there. That was a bad candle. So maybe we say, about 118, 117,900. Maybe we say something like that. That's pretty close. Something like that. Maybe back up here to this top trend line right here. That's our opium. It doesn't matter. All right. If not, then we would be looking in here. I don't really see. We could. You're in this block anyway. Either way it goes, you're in here. So So you want to hold this order block all together. And then we can also depend on this upper trend line, right, this lower trend line right here as well. So I'm looking at this one, the one that's descending down, and then the lower one here that's descending up. And let me just change the color. So I changed the style a little bit to separate them. Let me just do that in white like that so we can see what I am looking at in here. So you have that 50 in here, the weekly, the feel of that gap in here, along with these momentum lines in through here, and this ascending trend line. But this is all in order block right here. So if we want to see any sort of continuation up on Bitcoin, this is it right here. This is us all day, all day. No 786s, okay? No 786s. Because this is a bearish formation. This part right here is a bearish formation. I know everybody's looking at this one, the triangle. I know everybody's looking at that one. Me, I was saying, what if? What if? Because it all lines up, right? It all lines up. 116, all the confluence, everything was right here with this bearish formation. All right, so that's what I'm looking at over here on the 4-hour time frame. So that's what you can add onto your chart. TradingView is free. It's free. Because I know that some sort of a breakdown is going to come for this 4-hour time frame. You can see it right here. Some sort of a move down is going to come. We already got a negative here on our MACD. We got this squeeze in here on our Bollinger. We got our trend line that we're clinging on to right now, and that's the first one. Second one, of course, is going to be down here around your 50. So if 50 ain't happening, yeah, do that. Because if 50 ain't holding, then, you know, we don't know. Maybe this is our 50 coming back to back test this top side. Maybe that's our 50. Maybe. But if it gets down into here and that's your 50, that's your contact right there, then that's everything. That'd be like what we're looking at right now on the 15-minute. That would be like that. That would be like what we looked at right here. Knowing, you know, what we needed to see in here. That can be what that is, okay? Like I said, that candle, I think it was this one right here that I was talking about. Like, we're in a bearish order block, so I don't expect anything else from this right here. In fact, we have to be able to save ourselves from here. That's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope I was helpful. I'm more than sure that I was helpful. So if you are here, please be sure that you smashed up that like button. I gave you all the details you needed. If you need for me to post on it, I will. Maybe today. If you was here, you got the information. You know, some people, you know, they weren't here. They weren't here, so they don't have it. They don't know what to look for. I don't know. Maybe somebody else gave it to them like I gave it to you. But I'm good. Not just playing. I'm humble. I appreciate you for being here, hanging out with your girl Down to Crypto TA. Please be sure to follow me at Down to Crypto TA on X. You can also follow me at Down to Crypto TA, the Down to Crypto TA on CoinMarketCap. And that's actually where I'm going to drop this information at. I probably won't put it on X today. I'll just put it on CoinMarketCap. Put it there. I get a lot more appreciation for my work over there. So, you know, you want to be where you're appreciated, and that's for sure. Want to be where you're appreciated. So what else? Zcash before I go, because I know you guys love Zcash, right? You love Zcash. I still say it's at resistance. I shared with you what I saw on the inside of Zcash versus BTC, which is going to be that 200 EMA, that if it decides to push back up there, because it's already at the resistance. We already seen a big rejection from it against Bitcoin already. for the second time. And if it gets to that 200, that might be it for Zcash. So just know that you are, again, hitting resistance on Zcash. I can only holler that so many times. It doesn't, not trying to stop you from getting in and making your money. Like I said, get in, make your money, and take your money. Okay. Don't let the market take it. You take it. Okay. Because you are hitting resistance. Okay. Want to see this order block right here get broken. Want to continue to take out these order blocks in here. So you got one right there. You got another one right here. You want to see this one right here. Also be taken out. And then you got this in here. Now this order block that was in here, this already been tapped. It wasn't taken out, but it was most certainly tapped for the double top. Okay, for the little double top that Zcash got in here. And in fact, while I'm here, let me just check out this right here real quick. Okay, I just wanted to see where it was when it made the measure move on it, because that would have been exactly something that I would have been looking for on it. So pretty good on getting that measure move in here. This trend line right here can go poof now. Okay, that can go poof now. You don't need that anymore. You want to start clearing out these order blocks. And when I say clearing them out, I mean if you just take the liquidity over them, you've done good. I'd like to see closures above them, to be honest with you. But you start breaking these down, then you're building order blocks below, bullish order bullish order blocks below. You'll know that you're doing that. Okay, if you start taking these out. So from there, you would just be looking at where your low was, or where you were. And when you start taking out these points in here to have a bullish order block, okay, that's what you'd be looking for. I'll come in on Zcash as well after I get me a little rest. I don't feel too good right now, but after I get me a little bit of rest, so I'm not looking at this scenario here anymore. I'm not going to delete this order block. I'm going to leave that there, but that's not bad. That's not bad if you got in on Zcash after the break right here, because yeah, like I said, it looked like it might do a little bit, but it still has to clear out this stuff right here. I'm not taking a trade on Zcash. I am a cheerleader though, trying to help you navigate through Zcash if you're interested in it, and then that way I don't have my emotions tied up in the market and make what I say personal. Okay, it's the easiest thing I can do for you is to just not be in it and not get emotional on it. All right, I don't get emotionally tied to Bitcoin even when I'm in it, but something like this is, yeah. Bitcoin is a whole nother monster. It has strong dominance. I don't have to get emotional with that. But this stuff right here, yeah, I get emotional with altcoins. All right, and that's gonna do it for me. Again, appreciate you, love you. I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do tomorrow, because I don't stream on Wednesdays, but I do want to make Wednesday into something. I don't know if I want to make it a class, where we just cover market structure and things like that, because I know a lot of people, YouTube has an abundance of free courses, right? And I know a lot of people will get on and they'll also sell you this information. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but a lot of those teachers regurgitate what they've learned, and all of that can be absolutely wrong. All of it can be wrong, because I know I've come on and I've said a lot of stuff about indicators, especially when they start getting into indicators, that makes a difference when you really study them. Like if you haven't really studied them, let me tell you, when I study indicators, I put money on it and I take losses. I take losses when I'm studying, and that forces me to get it right. And if you're a trader and you haven't used real capital yet, that's something else I want to talk about too, because you really need to use some real capital. It's easy to paper trade. It's easy to paper trade. When you put your money in there, you understand you're not paper trading. You're trading emotions. When you start taking hits, yeah, and paper go out the window. So, but I may make it into something like that. Where I can have like do some teaching and stuff like that, or maybe I'll just go over, I don't know, the stock market more so on a Wednesday or something. I haven't quite figured it out just yet. People get scared to talk to me, but I'm gonna ask you to leave me a comment and tell me what you think or what you would like. I know probably nobody will probably do it. I don't know what it is about me. I don't know. Maybe people just not interested in me. That can be it. That can be it. That could be it. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. I gave you your rundown. And I will see you when I post up. Love you. Bye.